All right, if you've ever had that moment of panic when you see the words works cited, then this is for you. Today, we are going to tackle MLA citations. And I promise, by the end of this, you'll see it's not about memorizing a bunch of scary rules. It's actually about joining a really cool conversation. Let's dive in.
So let's just get right to the big question, the one everyone asks. You've done all the hard work, the research, the writing, so why on earth do you have to bother with all these little formatting rules? It's a completely fair question, and I think the answer might actually change how you look at your own work. Here's the trick. Stop thinking of citations as a chore. Instead, think of them as your ticket into this huge ongoing conversation. I mean, every article, every book you read, that's a person's voice in a massive discussion. And when you write and cite your sources, you're not just handing in homework, you're actually stepping up and adding your own voice to that dialogue. Really, citations are just how you introduce the other speakers in the room. You're giving a nod to the people whose ideas you're building on, which, by the way, makes you look way more credible. Plus, you're basically handing your reader a map, so if they get curious, they can go find those exact same sources and join the conversation too. It's all about being a good citizen in this world of ideas. Okay, so how does this whole thing actually work? Well, here is the absolute best news. All of MLA is built on a simple two-part system. Seriously, forget all the complicated rules you think you know. If you can play a matching game, you've got this. And here are the two pieces of the game. First, you've got the in-text citation. That's just a quick little reference right there in your paragraph. And second, you've got the works cited page, way at the end with all the juicy details. The first part always points directly to the second part. That's it. That's the entire system. So let's zoom in on part one, the in-text citation. This is the little guy you'll be using all throughout your paper, and its only job is to give your reader two quick pieces of info: who you're talking about, and where you found their idea. And here is the basic formula you need to burn into your brain. You're gonna love this. It's just the author's last name and the page number, all inside parentheses. Notice what's not there? No comma, no P or PG, nothing extra. Super simple, right? Okay, let's see it in action. Okay, check out this example of a paraphrase. That's where you put an author's idea into your own words. You still gotta give him credit. See how we already named the author Jenkins right in the sentence? That means the parentheses only need the page number. And here's a detail that trips people up all the time. The period for your sentence always goes after the parentheses. Now, what about a direct quote? Guess what? It's the exact same rule. Since we introduced the quote with "as Jenkins explains," all we need in the parentheses is that page number. And again, look where that period is, at the very, very end. But what if you use a quote without naming the author in your sentence? No problem at all. The author's last name just slides right inside the parentheses along with the page number. This little tag, Jenkins 2, gives your reader those two crucial clues they need: the who and the where. Seeing these two side by side is where it really clicks for most people. On the left, Jenkins is in the sentence, so the citation just needs the page. On the right, he's not in the sentence, so his name goes inside the parentheses. The main takeaway is that the author's name just has to show up once, either in your sentence or in the citation, not both. Okay, let's cover one little special case you might run into: the indirect citation. This is just what you do when you find a quote from someone inside another person's article. Think of it like a quote within a quote. You use this little abbreviation, QTD.N. So, for instance, let's say you're reading an article by an author named Newton, and Newton quotes a survey. You want to use that statistic from the survey. You'd cite it just like this. QTD in Newton 3 literally tells your reader, I found this quote inside Newton's article on page 3. You always cite the source you physically have in front of you. All right, we have totally nailed the in-text citation. Now for the really satisfying part. Let's see how that first piece of the puzzle connects to the second piece and, close the loop with the works cited page. Remember this little clue we left in our text? That in-text citation isn't just there because it's a rule. No, it's a pointer. It's a breadcrumb, and it's leading your reader somewhere important. And this is the destination. This is where that breadcrumb leads. Your reader sees Jenkins in the text, they flip to your works cited page at the end, and bam! There he is. Here's where they find all the details they need to track down that exact source for themselves. So you see, the in-text citation and the works cited entry are a perfect match. The short one in your text is the key. The long one at the end is the lock. Together, they create this crystal clear map of your research. It's actually a pretty brilliant system when you think about it. Okay, we've gone through the whole system. So before we wrap this up, here's a super fast checklist you can use to give your paper a quick once-over before you hand it in. Just run through this in your head. Okay, does every single quote and every single paraphrase have a citation? Check. Is my format right? Just author page, no comma? Yep. Is that period after the parentheses? For sure. And did I remember to use QTD in if I quoted a source within a source? Check. A quick scan for these 5 things will catch almost all the common mistakes. Look, if you take away only one thing from all this, let it be this. Citations are not meant to be a trap. They're not designed to be tricky or confusing. They are simply a tool, a standard way for us to give credit and show people where we got our information. That's all. So think about it this way. MLA isn't a barrier to entry. It's a passport. It gives you the credibility you need to engage with other thinkers and to add your own voice to the mix with confidence. So really, the only question left is, what conversation are you going to join?